Extend grace and mercy to those around you.
Yeah.
Because one day you'll need it as well. Yeah. Love never fails.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to our channel.
I'm Susie.
And I'm Ness. And this is
Mom and Daughter Talk,
where we hope to inspire,
encourage,
and uplift your
mother-daughter
mother-daughter relationships.
relationships.
Thanks for joining. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe so you can be notified when new content has arrived. And if you're on the podcast, be sure to follow, and I think you can like it on there as well. So today we're going to talk about forgiveness.
You broke that up into syllables, huh?
There's 3 of them.
Forgiveness.
You need all of them.
So what does forgiveness mean to you? What's a personal definition of what forgiveness? Or I want to talk about even reconciliation. So you can, tell me what your definition is.
Ooh. So forgiveness to me, it takes one person to forgive, but reconciliation, it takes 2.
I just told her that before we started recording. She took my line, but that's okay.
I didn't know what else to say. Okay, but no, for real though, it takes one person to forgive. And I feel like when you forgive somebody, you're forgiving them for you. It's not for them. People don't even need to know that you forgave them, but it's something that happens within your heart. It's a heart posture change.
That's good.
Yeah. And you can forgive somebody to their face or even just to yourself. You know what I'm saying? But that's letting go of what they did or how they hurt you or they offended you. So then you can move forward and now you are free.
Yeah, as you said that, and you just said it as I was thinking it about letting go. I think forgiveness entails releasing and letting go and surrendering. And sometimes it could be where you're forgiving someone that's been in your past, or really maybe they've gone on. They're no longer here on this earth. So you can't necessarily reconcile. Like she said, it takes 2 people, but it is about a releasing. And I've heard it said, and I think it's really true, that a lot of times forgiveness is not even so much about the other person, but it's really for you so that you can move on. Because when you don't forgive, and God forbid if you allow a root of bitterness to get in, I think of it as far as visually that it is where it's like a tree that has deep roots. It goes under and it just spreads underneath. And you may not see it on the surface, but underneath it's doing some damage.
Yeah. That's good, yeah. Because you don't really know. And I feel like, honestly, you don't really know. I'll be like, oh, yeah, I forgave that person. But then I see them or, something reminds me of them. And I'm like, ugh, I don't know about them. And so it can kind of just come up in the, what's it called? Like not the forefront, but behind the scenes.
Yeah. And I think sometimes forgiveness is I call it different layers or different levels, right? So for instance, let's say you forgave someone, but like you said, sometimes a litmus test is when you run into them, right? Yeah. And then also, and it doesn't mean that you didn't forgive the first time. It's just like I said, it's a deeper uncovering sometimes. Yeah. Because I know I'll be transparent. I can say this because I really have been healed. So when I was in like 6th grade, I was molested, and it was by somebody that I knew, right? And I remember when I gave my life to the Lord, it was about 18, and I was at a college campus Bible study. I went, and the message was actually about forgiveness. And so, I went back to my dorm and I was like, Lord, is there someone that I need to forgive? And I was just kind of quiet. And I kid you not, I felt like I heard an audible voice that, what happened to you when you were in elementary school? And it just felt weird because I had kind of like kept it out of my mind, almost like in denial. And so I knew God was doing an uncovering because he wanted to heal me. And so I forgave that person. But then like about 6-7 months later, I heard another message at church, and they were talking about that if you think about that person that you forgave, but yet when you think about the situation or the person, you kind of live through those emotions again, then you might want to check, have you really forgiven them?
Like if it's like raw emotions come back up?
Or any kind of emotions. Like for instance, I can share this freely, what I shared about the molestation, where it feels like I'm telling a story about someone else, right? Because to me, that's an indication that I'm fully healed. But
that's good.
So anyway, when I heard that message, I went before the Lord again. And I was like, and I remember thinking, did I really forgive him the first time? And I felt like that I did, but it was another layer. You know what I mean? And so it is a decision. It's a daily decision. And So yeah, I think it's true that it can be in layers. It may not be just all at once.
Yeah, and I think the layers also too, it's like you forgive, but you also have to heal from it as well. That's interesting. That's a good point. Like if you can share what you've been through and it feels more like a story or like, you know, something you went through and you overcame and you don't feel any type of way towards that person, then that means that you're like fully healed.
Yeah.
In a sense.
And really along with that, this is another example of how God can take your pain and use it to minister to other people. So what happened to me, right? I remember 2 years down the line, I was part of a juvenile hall ministry. And so this person and I got paired up to go to a unit of girls. And there was about 15 girls in the room. And I had, like I said, what I just shared about the forgiveness, but I had never shared it publicly. And I remember we were sitting in that circle and I just started feeling kind of hot on the inside. I knew the Holy Spirit was like, I want you to share it. I want you to share what happened. And it wasn't even about the topic that we were, assigned to do. We did it, and then there was some time, and so I just stepped out and I shared it. And I kid you not, it just broke something in the room. And then I asked, I said, has anyone else in the room, experienced that? I said, because God really wants to heal you. Everyone it was 14 of them out of the 15 raised their hands. Wow. And it moved a total different direction where we talked about not only God can heal you physically, but emotionally and mentally. Yeah. And I remember walking out of that unit thinking, oh my God, it is true that God can take whatever you went through and really share it with someone and open the door for them to get healed. Because we ended up praying for the girls, but that would have never happened if I wasn't open enough to share it. You know what I mean? And he can turn your suffering or your pain into purpose. Yeah. Absolutely.
I think of like when someone's going through a heartbreak or something, and like I've been through heartbreak before. I've been through a couple heartbreaks, and so it's like that was so painful. I was like, I never want to feel that again if I can help it. But then it's like when I meet somebody, like one of the girls in cosmetology school, and then my new friend, I'm about to say his name. Well, I guess I can say his name. He goes to my church, but Ryan. And so like they were going through heartbreaks when I met them. And then to see like Yo-Yo, she like is now moved past that. Oh, but it's like because of the heartbreak I had gone through in my past, I knew exactly what she was feeling. I knew exactly what she was talking about. I could completely and fully relate to her story and share my experience from my pain, which then I love the phrase, turn your pain into purpose.
Yeah.
And even Ryan, like I mean, I had just met him a couple weeks ago, but like through him, like just being vulnerable and sharing like some of the things he was going through, like I understand what you're talking about,
And really, that I think of a couple of scriptures that says that God can take all things, right? He can work it together for our good to those that love him and are called according to his purpose. And then also too, what the devil meant for evil,
God turns around for our good.
Oh my gosh. Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. And really you think that the enemy comes to discourage us and to, well, he says he comes to steal, kill, and destroy. So one of those things, but yet and still, like as we hold on to God, God can turn those things around. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it really is where there's another scripture that says, in all things be thankful, right? So it doesn't mean for all things be thankful. Like what happened to me, what I just shared, I'm not thankful for it, but in it and through it, I'm thankful how God can take the ashes of that and turn it into beauty and share it with someone else to help them come out of the ashes as well. Yeah.
And I feel like when you go deep, like in those deep traumatic moments or experiences in life, like the come up is just so much sweeter because like you have gone through the depths of life. You know what I mean? And so now to come up, it's like you come up and you come past, you come beyond what you have been through. Right. And you're helping others come up along the way as you live your life and as you encounter different people.
Yeah, absolutely. Whew, yeah, and I think it's those moments of the low moments, if you will, that's where you really grow and stretch. It's not the celebration of the mountaintop is great, and we need those, you know what I mean? And really we appreciate those more, like she said, as we come out from the valley. But within the valley, it really is that's where the stretching is. That's where the formation is, where, God can take us, like if we're the clay, he is the potter, and he can mold us like a beautiful, beautiful sculpture,
Yeah. So that's forgiveness, but like real quick, reconciliation as well. Like that one, I said it takes two, because I really do believe that. And I've like lived that even recently too. Like to reconcile with somebody is really, really extremely super duper hard, because it's like, you can take somebody who has offended you. Like, okay, I'll use my life for example. It was like a year ago. Someone had disappeared on me, no explanation. We were friends, and it's like they just gone, ghosted, left, nowhere to be found. And then, so of course it's like, okay, dagger in my heart. So that hurt. But I decided to forgive that person. Obviously, this isn't someone I can call you up and I can tell you, I've forgiven you for what you did. You probably don't even know what you did. You know what I mean? So I forgave within myself so I could let it go. Exactly 5 months later, that person came back into my life and reached out. And I could just feel it. I just had grace for that person, because I was like, I already forgave you, so I don't have any bitterness towards you. It's not like, ooh, why are you coming back type of thing. It was just like, interesting. Okay. And, I was kind of thinking it through, trying to process it. And then I was like, okay, let me just, say something back or whatever. Then as the conversation kind of continued, I could kind of tell this is the point or the pivot where do I just forgive and kind of, in a sense, forget? Like, okay, I don't think there's anything else, that we have to accomplish together in life. Or do I forgive and is God asking me to reconcile with this person? And that was scary too, because I'm like, well, you disappeared on me once. I don't want you to do it again. Like, that mug hurt because I cared about the friendship so much. So basically, I had to make sure I had people around me to help me be like, I think you should give this person a chance. Because my innate thing is, nah, I'm good. I'm straight. We're good. So I went and I hung out with this person, and I could feel like, okay, reconciliation was needed. Yeah. And honestly, the biggest thing I took out of that conversation was understanding her point of view, like what she was going through in her life. It was deep. And I had no idea. And, everyone, we're all learning, we're all growing. So she didn't think to like, oh, I'm going through something. Let me let this person know, hey, like, I'm going through something right now. I need some space. I'll get back with you when I can. Yeah. But, it's like I said, we're all growing. Yeah. So I don't know. I heard her out. I understood it. I knew where she was coming from. I've done that before. When I was trying to get my life together over 2 years ago, I got a lot of people off, and I didn't know how to articulate. I don't know what to do in my life, and I need some space. So,
yeah. I think about when someone is going through a lot of pain and crisis and trauma, it's almost like they're in quicksand, right? So when someone is in quicksand, they're in survival mode. They're not looking to be polite to someone that's outside the quicksand, you know what I mean? Although the people on the outside may not know they're in the quicksand, so they're like, gosh, she was kind of rude, or like you said, she ghosted on me. But it really is where I think if we can be in a position, I'm speaking to myself too, where we can extend grace, to people, right? Because really, there's going to be some times where we're in the quicksand, right? And we would want grace and mercy extended to us. And so I just feel like whoever's watching or listening right now, that maybe God is requiring that of you. Maybe you're the one that's outside of the quicksand, and God is saying, you know what? That person that you have the right to be offended. Maybe some of the things that they did were offensive, but God is asking you to extend grace, because it really is that when we realize how much God has forgiven us, it's easy to be able to extend that forgiveness to other people. Yeah.
That's good. I can tell you're passionate about that.
I am, because it's been something on my heart today. And I just wanted to say, too, even the word reconciliation, anytime you see a re in front of a word, it means again, right? So when you reconcile with someone, it's really making that space, making that room again for them to be in that rightful place that you were in before the offense. Right? Re. Remember, re. It means again.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's good. Got to be mature on that one. That's hard. But yeah, so thank you for joining. We hope you got some gems. I know I got some gems just listening to you and Me, yeah. But thank you for joining.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, thank you and have an amazing day. And remember, extend grace and mercy to those around you.
Yeah.
Because one day you'll need it as well. Yeah. Love never fails. All right. Have a good day. Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye. Talk to you later.
Well,
Who are you talking
we'll
to?
talk to you later. Listen, you all can listen later. Okay, thumb down. Thumb down.
The end.
Yes. Please don't.